think it's important to start by saying that, because tax policy is very complicated, it's common for smart and educated and even very politically engaged people to hold misconceptions about tax reform, right? So I think that it's important to sort of recognize that that's a problem that's not just limited to certain kinds of people. But right, it's true that Americans do hold these really fundamental misunderstandings. One of them, well, a lot of them are on the individual tax side, but the distinction in the average person's mind between the individual income tax and the corporate income tax is not very strong. People tend to group together corporations and the wealthy as people who don't pay their share. And whether you believe that or not, if they don't pay their share, it's not for the same reasons, right? It's a completely separate code. So you have to sort of recognize that people know very, very little about corporate taxation in general. The only piece of it that I think is widely understood, or at least widely even, that people are even aware of, is the idea that some companies are hiding their money overseas. But of course, the details of a policy that would address that and which kind of policy would address that in a way that aligns with any given voter's values is extremely difficult to say, right? I mean, even experts disagree on these subjects. The other piece of sort of public misconception that I think may play a real role this year is a tendency for people to perceive loopholes and not rates as the thing that really matters for public opinion or for the tax rate that you pay. So, for instance, people often misunderstand a plan that closes loopholes but lowers rates as something that's going to end up revenue neutral, when in fact, obviously you can close some loopholes and lower the rates and end up costing a lot of money, right? Blowing a big hole in the budget, and many of those plans that gets proposed do that. So I think that people tend to misperceive what kind of policies will implement their values. And that, I think, is especially true when they're trying to understand tax policies that don't affect most Americans at all in any immediate way, in any direct way, so that they're really operating with the best information they can get from their very polarized news sources, right? So you face a big partisan divide on that.